Hey everyone, Mac is back, and today I'm going to finish off the Siege of Winterfell Commander series for the free-to-play. Today I'm going to go over the Spear, Infantry, and Cavalry formation. So if you're not a bow player and you want your 3 separate formations, I'm going to go over the commanders. The free commanders that you can either you'll get them through events or you'll get them through the Weirwood. Unlock them in certain ways for free to play. So this will just give you a better idea of what my thoughts are on the free to play, and hopefully be able to get you a strong your strongest lineups, 3 lineups together, so you'll be able to fight efficiently. So let's get to it. Alright, so I've separated all the free to play commanders into their 3 different troop types here, with the infantry in the top left and the spears top right, and the bottom right you're going to have the cavalry. Here are 2 other commanders to consider as well, because Tyrion is total attack and total defense, and Simon is total attack once you have him to gold quality. You can see I don't have him there quite yet, but as a free to play, if you're playing in a lot of the events, you should be able to get him to, you'll be able to get him to as high as gold, of course, and even higher than that once you get more medals to be able to upgrade him, since he is awakened. So if we're going to look at the infantry first. So looking at infantry, Tyrion is an infantry commander, which has nothing to do with his troops, because you can see his skill is actually renders targeted troops incapable of dealing normal attacks, counterattacks, and skill attacks for 6 seconds. Very, very good. You can see he's 700 rage, so that is kind of high on the rage cost. And something to also consider is to see how many stars you have him. So if you get him to 3 stars, you can get up to more than the 15,000. You can actually max him out, which would be nice. Looking at your other commanders up here, you really kind of want to have a lot of stats, because as a free-to-play, stats are going to be more difficult to come by. So looking at, for instance, Feast, you got infantry attack and defense. Then we move over, we look at Barrett. He is infantry health and defense. And we look at Haley has the attack, and then looking over at Arya, she has the attack, but she has also some defense as well. Their skills are actually going to be very good too, are very important, so looking at the skills as well. So basically, we want to try to put something together with, like I said, that very first lineup you're going to have is going to be really, really, need to have a really good skill in that sense. So I actually kind of think that Tyrion is probably one of the best for this, just because he has that silence ability that renders those targets incapable of doing that, and you want to get that off as quickly as possible, so he'll be the first one to get his ability off. So I actually think he is the first one that you're going to want in there. So he's very, very good in that respect. Now looking at the other ones, I think that Arya is actually pretty good with her skill damage she does here, so we'll put her down here next, just in case. We'll see what our last one we want to have in there. I don't really want to put Simon in there because I have different plans for him later on. But looking at your other commanders here, you also have to consider troops like who's awakened. So you could have Barrett awakened and be able to get that 21,000 like Arya is, or more troops there, where Feast you can't actually get that. However, with Barrett, you're only getting the health and defense, which isn't that good. His rage cost is good, but it increases infantry defense for 900%. I really don't like that at all. So it's nice to have the lowest rage cost basically, and then the cooldown to be the lowest possible. That 8 seconds is phenomenal, but he's just not bringing enough enough to the table, in my opinion. So I'm going to get rid of him. Looking at your other 2, we're looking at both of them having it 240% attack. He does give extra infantry here. Comparing their skills now, we're looking at a 400 rage cost compared to 600. So hers increases counterattack damage dealt by the commanded troops by 90% for 4 seconds, and increases infantry attack by 1200% for 8 seconds. That's phenomenal there. So we're definitely going to go with that. So we're going to get rid of that over there. So we'll bring this up top here. We're going to say Tyrion, we're going to say Arya, and we're going to say Feast. The only negative here is that Feast is only 11,000 troops, so you're going to lack the amount of troops there, which is going to be difficult, and I don't like that so much. But at the same time, still very, very good lineup there. So you're getting you can see they're both double stats across the board, so very, very good there. Again, Simon, we're going to hold off on him. I'm going to use him for this last lineup here, but essentially we're going to go with the spears over here, and the very first one, which is someone that you can get free to play through the Weirwood Memories, is Hector. And Hector is actually very, very good. I like Hector a lot. If you're looking at his skill here, or his rage cost is 600, and his cooldown is 12. But the big thing is he's given 320% spear defense, 320% spear attack, and some enemy cav health reduction of 120. That's just those stats alone tells me that he's going to be really, really good. Looking at his skill, his deals skill damage to the target troops, 1600 coefficient, and at the same time increases the spear defense of the commander troop by 1200%. So that defense isn't that great, but we're still looking for stats, and if you're giving 1200%, that's pretty good. But also doing skill damage, so he's also giving you the stats, so he's very good. I like him in there. 600 rage cost isn't too bad compared to some other troops that are commanders that are more than that, way more, 700,000. Looking at our other commanders, trying to get those stats in there. Gorel has the attack and the defense, which is nice, and Arslan has the attack and health, which is nice. Looking at Varys, he only has the attack, so we really hope that his skill is going to make up for it. Well, the rage cost is actually quite good, 400 there, but Gorel's is 400, and Arslan's a little higher in the 600. But the reason it's 600 is because it's going to give 1200% attack for 8 seconds, and as we have shown before, that's really, really good. So he's going to be the next one I think I'm going to put in the line there. And then looking at the last two, reduces the normal attack damage dealt by troops by 90% for 4 seconds, or increases spear defense by the commander troops by 900% for 4 seconds. So I guess what I'm looking at here, is it worth having this extra 240% defense? Because they're obviously rage costs and cooldown are the same, or do you want to reduce that normal attack damage for by 90% for 4 seconds? So essentially, if they're attacking with with 1000%, you're going to reduce that to 100% for 4 seconds, or do you want to put in there increased defense, spear defense by the command troop by 900% for 8 seconds? So it's twice as long, and you're getting defense in there to be able to absorb that damage for 8 seconds, while you're still doing the 240%. I think at this point, I'm probably just going to go with Varys to be able to reduce the amount of damage. You can't go wrong here. So essentially, if you don't have Hector, 4 stars, or I'm sorry, gold quality, then you probably could just use these 3 commanders here, but with themselves. So I think that's probably the best idea. If you do have Hector, you're definitely going first. And then if you do have him, then I think this is the kind of lineup that I would want to put there, just because of the skill there, because he's going to bring 21,000 just like Gorel was also. So those are the three lineups, or 3 commanders that I would suggest. Now looking in the last one, I'm going to say, like, I kept Simon here for a reason. If you look at Simon, he has that recovers wounded, so you're going to put him first. 500 rage, which is considerably low. He only brings, if you have him gold quality, 120% for a total attack, but his skill is just really good with the healing that he's going to do to your troops. Looking at the other commanders, who's going to put in this cavalry lineup, also I can have a little more room here to spread them out. And when we're looking at them, we're trying to get those bonuses in there. So Mengo has a nice bonus with attack and defense. Rob has just defense and health, but at least it's 2. And then you're looking at Russell, who has the attacks. And I'm always about the attacks, so I'm probably looking at these 2 first. Looking at Mengo, he increases the cavalry defense. Same exact skill that we just talked about with Gorel, having that 900%, but he brings the attack along as well. The problem is he doesn't bring many troops either. But the 400 and the 8 seconds is good. Is really, really good. So you could combine that too. You can think about doing that, having a lot of low rage costs in some of these lineups. And if they do that, they get these skills off a lot faster, and they'll hit off back to back to back really quickly, and for getting the cooldown and everything. So you'll be able to keep those stats really, really high. So I do like Mengo in that respect. He does skill damage, which is a coefficient of 1500 plus the attack in there. Rob is increasing the cavalry attack by 1200% for 8 seconds. So that's too good not to put in there as well. So probably going to put Rob there second. Looking at Jean, as I talked about in my other videos, she's not really that great. I mean, both of these are not going to really bring many troops in there because of they're not awakened yet. So, and she's giving you defense and increases skill damage. Skill damage is pretty good too, but I don't like that one. And then the very last ones we're looking at, these last 2. And just a side note as well, again, if you don't have Simon, and you could probably still use Simon anyway, just because he only gives that total attack. He's really not helping you too much with his bonuses. So, but I just like that he'll heal all your lineups, which is nice, and all those cav lineups, so they're stacked up together. So looking at these last 2 here, I'm thinking I'm just going to put in the attack here. The defense isn't really worth it over with 900%, but I think like skill damage of 1500 coefficient. If that coefficient was less, then I might have a little issue with it about switching them. But that's probably what I'm going to do, those 3 right there. Like I said, you could substitute Mango in there if you really wanted to, but I don't think that that's unless you don't have Simon at all because you just didn't play in any events or something. I guess that's possible. So I'm probably not going to have him in there. So as you can see here, these are the ones you're going to want to put together for for Siege of Winterfell. I hope this helped you out, because you know what, it's supposed to be a really fun event, and I enjoy it. There's a lot of strategy involved with it, and until next time, Mac out.